Welcome back, folks, to another episode of MLM from Ruin to Refreshed. PJ here, and in this episode we're going to be looking at a Matchbox series number 35 Opal Diplomat, made in England by Lesney. So let's get it disassembled and drilled, and I'll catch you in the next build update. Cheers. Welcome back to the bench, folks, and we've got our parts back from the workshop. They've been painted, and as you can see, I've already attached a new reformed axle to the chassis, and this one is new to me, and I'm going to give a massive shout out to my friend Troy Wolf at Diecast Rejuvenation. So have a look for Troy's channel and please show him a bit of support by subscribing. He'd really appreciate it. And Troy put me onto this idea of using this KS steel aluminium tubing. So I don't know whether you can make out, it is hollow, and this is the 1800 version, and I'll put a picture of it above so you can track it down on eBay. So the other component that I'm using are jewellery hat pins. So this will form the hub of our wheel. And there's a couple of ways that you can cut this steel, this aluminium, as far as I'm concerned. Well, actually there's three, but the third one I have on order. If you're aware of what a pipe cutter is, a mini pipe cutter for cutting copper pipe, K&S Steel do a mini version of that for cutting things like brass piping and aluminium piping. So I've got them on order. Alternatively, you can use a cutter in a Dremel, and I was lucky enough today to pick up this little mitre block from a shop called The Range. It came as part of an hacksaw kit with a junior hacksaw. So there's a couple of methods there. What you have to be careful with when you're cutting this is crushing the end, because once you've crushed the end, it's a pain in the butt to get the hole reformed. So what's the best way for me? The best way for me is the following. I've kept the original axle. It won't have lost any of its length, because all we did was to grind off the end. And we can put that, we can put our aluminium against our axle up to the head, not past the head, up to the head. Then we can mark it off with a black pen. Then this is on the cuff, folks, so if this all goes wrong, don't be surprised. I'm going to put that in our little mitre block. And there we go. I did snap it off slightly, I must admit. And then I can take a file and file away from the centre. And I did make one of these axles, as I said last night. And the remnant of the head pin I can use as a shaft to go inside the hollow tubing and just clear it out. We can take our hat pin like so. I'm just using a pair of wire cutters here, and I'm going to cut the hat pin back like so. Let's move that up slightly. And I've cut it so that it's less than half the distance to the centre of the tube. That way the two ends won't butt up against each other. And then we could take a bit of super glue. Use the cut off piece of our hat pin, dip it in the super glue, and then just put some round the base or the bottom of the headed hat pin that we're going to insert, and that way the super glue will move up the tube once it's inserted, and all things being equal we'll seal it in place. And that's all there is to it. So we can now take a couple of wheels, get our chassis, insert the wheel, put the other side on, then all we'll have to do is to make a further insert for the other side. What I will say is when you glue this side in, make sure you're holding the axle underneath so tightly so it's not moving, and spin the wheel to stop it from gluing to the head of the hat pin that you put in there, or whatever you choose to use rather than a hat pin. So I'll make another one, then a bit of super glue around the bottom of the hat pin, insert it into our tube like so, push it up, and then all I'm doing is just spinning the wheel. I'll give it a chance to set first, that will help. And there we go. So as you can see, we've now got some what look like brand new axles, and this is ideal if you've got some of the crimped axles and you don't like them. You can use this method and turn it into a more finished looking car. So I've got some highlights left to do on the body of the Opal, get it back together, and then I'll meet you at the roundabout and we'll see what it looks like. So I'll catch you soon. Cheers. So welcome back folks to the reveal of our Lesney No. 36 Opal Diplomat, and a bit of fun this one. We've repainted the body gold, a darker gold than it was in the first place, painted the chassis, redone the engine bay, and added some chrome highlights to the front bumper and back bumper. We've also added a couple of indicator highlights, but this one was more about the axles and finding a new method of doing these small matchbox cars. And once again my thanks go to Troy at Diecast Rejuvenation, who put me onto this idea. I've done my own twist on it. I've used hat pins for the hubs and they've come out looking really nice, really chromed up and shiny, so we're pleased with that. So I hope you like this one, and you'll give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done before. It's free and it helps us to promote the Midlife Models channel. Talking of which, if you want to come and find us on Facebook, we've now been renamed to the Diecast and Modelers community rather than the MLM community, because I wanted it to be a little more diverse and reflective of all the other restorers and model makers who take part. So it's now a full-blown community, And why not come and join us in the tavern on a Friday night? We do a virtual rooms session on Facebook, and we have a tipple or two and shoot the breeze and talk about all things diecast and model making. So, as I said, thanks for your support, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.